Wow. You guys are so pretty. Thank you, Betty. My name is Leslie. I'm a recovering alcoholic and addict. Hey. First of all, I'd like to give praises to the angels that caught me as I came out of that attic and landed about 12 feet to the floor of my garage, standing up. And I only stood for about 10 seconds and fell over. My ankles are broken. So those of you who haven't seen me very much is because I've been rehabbing. It happened about maybe 10 days ago, little more or less. It's about 10 days ago. And I'm starting from now because I know a lot of you have seen me or whatever. And I flew in from Atlanta. And Tony and Mike have been working with me. They asked me almost like 9 months ago to do this. And it's such an honor when you're asked to do this. And, you know, there's part ego in it. Anybody who's ever spoken at a convention, if you say it's not, it is. I have to just say for me, it is a little ego because it's like, wow, I'm that important. Somebody heard something I said and passed my tape on to somebody because I don't solicit. You know, there's people around here that are speakers that solicit, but I don't. You know, God just, you know, I plant the seed, God does the watering, and I go where he tells me. And it was a toss-up. Do I stay at home and recuperate? I'm on blood thinners now, so I don't get blood clots. It's really weird. I have to, you know, shoot myself with anticoagulants and stuff. That's like, wow, you know, it's blowing me away. And the pain is not that great, believe it or not, except for the first 2 days. And I tossed it back and forth, and my sponsor's an RN. And that's a blessing, too, especially if she's a psych nurse on top of that. So if you're real crazy, she can diagnose your ass and diagnose your ass. So double deal. And she was like, baby, you know what? The bottom line decision is yours. And let me tell you what the message in all this is for me. It's just like your recovery. If you go around and get opinions from different people, that's how much information you're going to get. You'll be overwhelmed and confused. If I ask too many of you guys the same question, I'm going to get too many answers. And it's going to confuse me. And I won't be allowed to hear the Spirit talking to me when there's too many voices going on in here. So I had to stop talking to people and limit my conversation to someone who's experienced these type of things sober. But the bottom line, as in recovery, the answer's with you, Leslie. Either you go or you don't. And my philosophy, and I found out, as long as I don't drink, use, kill nobody, kill myself, there is no wrong answer here. Had I stayed at home, there would not have been a wrong answer. There would have been someone else that would have been sitting here sharing the experience, strength, and hope. Had I come, it is what it is, I am here. So after talking with her and the doctor saying, no, you can't go and all that. If I'd have been smoking, I'd have sold all this damn fake-ass rhinestone for a hit. Y'all have been like, no, she ain't in a wheelchair. Behind alleyways doing things that we do. In a wheelchair. With my bangs up like this because I done sweated. You know how it go when you take that first when you sweat. Wouldn't been nothing cute. For real. So, but the deep thing for me, and everything's a spiritual message. I see spiritual messages in everything. The deep thing for me is that if I fly and something happens on the way back, I am willing to die to give the message to another person. I am. I will come here and do this. What happens when I get home with my body? God's got it. I am powerless. And nothing worse than to be sober and powerless and realize and be reminded over and over how powerless I am. That's the first step, how powerless I am. I can't control things. See, I got that God thing in me. I want to control some shit. You don't understand. I want to direct you. So if you just act right, then I can go over here and direct you. And if you just act right, and then I'm going to tell you what you need to do. If you just act right, I'm going to be okay. How does what you do affect what I'm going to be okay with? So the big book tells me I need to quit playing God in every aspect of my life, and God's going to show me how you're going to quit playing God. Now you can't walk. Now try to walk now. And I'm a pump girl. I don't know about y'all, but I wear heels everywhere. So I sit in my closet and I be like, Dior. Pay less. Because you know I got them from both ends. Humbling. Humbling when you have a nurse have to come and bathe you. You know, it's just real humbling. And I'm okay for the experience because when I come up out of this, next convention, y'all gonna see me like that girl's cha-cha. She's dancing. Because I will walk again. It's no problem. I believe that. I'm supposed to share in a general way what it was like, what happened, what it's like today. And originally, I'm a Catholic school girl. Recovering Catholics in here? Y'all toe up. Y'all some toe up. Bless you, my child. I didn't wear the cross for that neither. It's just bless you, my child. My mother was in the movie industry, but she was on the post-production end. She was in the film industry. When they get finished filming stuff, they bring it in, and you put it on a developer, and it runs it through the developing fluid and all of that. And I'm from L.A. I'm a Hollywood kid, and a real Hollywood kid, running around on the studio sets of MGM. And it's not just a brag. That's just part of my story. That's where I come from. I'm the oldest of two. I have an younger brother who could not get this thing. He just couldn't get it. He's got a little time now, but it's still shaky, but he could not get this thing. My mother wasn't an addict, an alcoholic. She was a woman that was self-sufficient, self-supporting, bought a house, raised two kids, and put us in Catholic school, because that was the thing back in the 70s and 60s. And that was when Kennedy was in. You could get, for those of you who are old heads and know enough about it, you could get vouchers and money for putting your kids in Catholic school back in those days. I come from the era where back in the days when it was the Black Panthers were in and everybody was looking for Angela Davis. That's how old I am. When you wore your big afro wig and you had to pat it so it would be just round enough. You know what I'm saying? Uh-huh. Right on for the right on. Right on for the right on. I come from the era, I was born in 1960, so I don't want y'all to have to worry about counting how old I am. Yes, yes. I love you. Call me every day and tell me that. I told you I like controlling shit. You better call me, boy. So I come from that era. I came from the era where, when my mother was like, she had her little wine cart, the wrought iron wine cart that sat in the living room, and she had her akadama. Remember akadama? She's an akadama mama. Yeah. And that Tyrolean, that spinata, that classy drink. And they used to spike the kids' drinks. We had party, you spike the drink a little bit, and the kids would all have the party and everything. And my mom and them would play cards and stuff. It was that era. And I was that little bitty skinny girl. I was always real, real tiny and real skinny, and I got chased home by the big girls that was just mean to me, and I was always afraid, because I didn't have those cousins that could come beat y'all up, and I didn't have those big sisters. So I was always afraid and very tiny, and my afro wouldn't grow big enough. I don't know what that shit was, but what it was, I couldn't get an afro to grow like past here. And then if I sweat, it shrunk. This is for everybody that know what's up. You know what I'm saying? Thank God for the Jerry curl, because I could at least, I ain't the only one that did that. Be like this. All that stuff, yeah, that's it. And I'm just telling you about the low self-esteem and the low self-worth things. And all my girlfriends were all really, really, really cool. I went to Catholic high school. I graduated, went to Catholic high school. And in that, most of my girlfriends were white. And so I I'd be at school all day, and we're listening to Elton John and Stevie Nicks, and, we listened to the real, back then, it was like really cool, I'm going into my Valley Girl thing right now, if you can you hear it? Can you hear it? Did I do it? Okay. And so, I would go, we go to school, we play volleyball and everything, and we listen, mine, I'm versatile like that. So I'll go from Becky to Bumquisha in about 10 seconds, so just hold up. Hold up. She coming. Shaniqua coming, she coming. And we'd be, all day during school, and we were, really cool and everything, and then I'd go home, and then I'd listen to, When the Revolution Comes, Black Poets, Sly and the Family Stone. Yeah. So I did all of that. It was both ends. And my mom was just versatile like that. We were made to read a lot. And I'm saying all this to you because when you come into the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous and Cocaine Anonymous, we blame our parents for so much of our dis-ease. I don't know about you. Let me talk about me. For me, my mother was the reason I got loaded. She was, excuse me, that crazy bitch. I hated her because she was angry. And she cursed at me, and she took things from me. She was mean to me, and I should have had a better mother than that. She should have treated me better because I was a good kid. I didn't get high in high school. I was a good kid until like 12th grade, but I was a good kid. You know what I'm saying? And I had that motherism disease. It was always her. How many people put their mom on the inventory? Somebody lied. How many people put their mother and their father on the inventory? Stop lying. You full of shit if you telling me you ain't put your mama on there. And if you didn't, you need to go back and I'll put her on there for you. Fuck with me. Quit playing. Because if you had a mother and she birthed you, she had a spiritual sickness that leapt into your ass too. Make me mad up here. I can't do nothing but just be mad. I can't come down there, so... But you know, in the end, and as I grow in sobriety and I grow into myself, I find out my mother was the bomb. Considering I had to put on about 5 or 10 inventories till I got the idea that, you know what? You're not mad at her, it's you. All that writing we do, guess what? You know why your inventory shrinks as you continue to take personal inventory? Because you're starting to find out it's not really them, it's your ass. The more and more I write, the less I have to write, because if I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, and I'm doing the spiritual conditioning and the maintenance that I'm supposed to do, and I'm making the amends, and I'm cleaning house, and I'm uncovering, discarding, getting rid of those things that are blocking me from the sunlight of the Spirit, I find out it is me. Only if I'm honest with myself. And once I find out what that is, the crux of the problem being me, how do I work with God to make me better? Fast forward. So I started out smoking weed, you know, because it was the cool thing to do. And back in the day when I was smoking weed, they were also smoking angel dust. Any dust heads in here? Oh, you got some brain cells. You know how to raise your hand at least, huh? Or that Sherman, as y'all say, them double dips or them cools, you know, yeah. Oh, you happy? He like, yeah. You took a hit before you came in this motherfucker. What the hell is wrong? You're like, yeah. He had a flashback. Something happened just then. Yeah. I tried that angel dust. It just didn't work. And you know, we're scientists. Any cocaine addicts that are scientists that know how to come down off of angel dust? Anybody know how to come down off of a bad high? Yeah, you got these remedies, huh? Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Drink milk. Yeah. Funny thing is I'm lactose intolerant. So I'm high and gaseous. That's so not sexy. That's not sexy. That ain't cute. So I tried that, and you know, they wouldn't let me roll the joints either, because I didn't roll them right, because they always either fell apart, or I licked them too much, or they were fat in the middle, whatever. So that I got disqualified from rollage. I wasn't a good prostitute either. I wasn't a good hooker, because I didn't even get a 30-day chip on Sunset. I got arrested after about a week. You know, the guy that picked me up, he looked at me, he had on I said, well, I didn't know he had on a postman's uniform. I thought he had a job. He did. He was a policeman. I said, damn, you got on the wrong uniform. That ain't fair. Can I have a do-over? And look, and I did that, and I wasn't even smoking cocaine. I was just hoeing just to see if I could make some money, and had a job. That's crazy. I had a job, y'all. That was insane. Oh, my God. And this is right after high school. I graduated high school, and I didn't know what to do with myself. And my mother said, well, you know, Leslie, you can go on and go to college, because by that time she had contracted lupus. And me being the oldest, I was a big caretaker, did everything for her and ran around for her. And she could get her Social Security check for us. And I said, no, I'm going to get out of your house because you're crazy as hell. So I got a job. I've always had great jobs. I came into the rooms with a job. I worked at Pacific Bell, but I was still sick. So after I did the weed, and then I would snort cocaine, and that was when they had the little brown bottles with the spoon at the end of it. When they cute, oh, you old heads are like, yeah, rock. Remember the spoon around the neck? What the hell? You guys, I know how many of you guys had those open neck shirts with all the non-hair coming out with the spoon on the neck. Yeah. Because that's who I'd look for in the club. He's got a spoon around his neck. And as with most drugs, you keep doing it till it gets better. And one day a friend of mine says, hey, you want to get high? And I didn't know what he was talking about, so I thought it was maybe some weed, maybe a little coke, because, I get real philosophical, when I do cocaine. We can talk about the universe and the stars. 2001: A Space Odyssey, what the meaning of that movie was. Drip the water. Remember that? You drank. Anyway, I'm getting too graphic for you guys. Anybody having flashbacks? I'm sorry. So, fast forward. So I got high with my friend. And we did the whole 9 yards. And the first time I didn't feel anything because I swallowed it. All I had to do was go to the bathroom after that. I was like, I don't know, I ain't feeling this. But like any good addict, I kept doing it till I got it right. I got me a good sponsor. Anybody get a cocaine sponsor? Everybody was taught by somebody. And then you transferred that knowledge, didn't you? Uh-huh. And I kept doing it and kept doing it, and I kept working and I kept doing it. And November 2nd, 1988, I was blown into the rooms of Cocaine Anonymous. And the reason I say I was blown, I was 88 pounds. And it's bad. You've done too much when your underwear do not fit. When your drawers is loose and you got a time and a knot on the sides because they're too little. And they already little drawers. So you cut them in time on the side. This is pre-G-string. So this is regular bikini, your time. Or you come into the room, you gotta put on some leggings and some more leggings and a pair of jeans so that like your pockets aren't touching each other. When you're all gaunt in the face and you can see your collarbone, but you're still trying to fix up the outside, so at least my nails were done. And I came into the rooms, and the reason I came into the rooms is I'd been up all night on a binge. And it's nothing worse than be up all night on a binge and there's no more. When it's all gone and you and whoever you sitting across the room with and they looking at each other and they looking at you and you looking at them and you hoping that they pull a rabbit out of the hat. And you can tell they not lying, they ain't got no more because they ain't talking about they gotta go. They just sitting there waiting for you to see if you got any left. And you sitting there looking to see if they got any left. And both of y'all realize that we ain't got nothing left. Oh, and I also have to share this with you, too, for those of you who don't know if you are or not, but I'm a pill head, too. Scary. See, I'm a pill head. I can drop a pill about as big as this right here dry. And I talk to you laughing on her. You nasty. See? Look at you. They didn't make me the spiritual speaker, so I can say what I want to. Ooh, Lord, all these men. Anyway, so there's nothing more demoralizing than to crawl around on your floors looking for stuff. There's nothing more demoralizing than going to bed with people that you would not even talk to in your sane mind. It's nothing more demoralizing than keep going to those abortion clinics because you have unprotected sex, because you've been loaded, because you wanted to get you another one, and you've gone through so many abortions you forgot how many to put on the application when you write that down. It's nothing more demoralizing as to use someone else's name and information to get another abortion. There's nothing more demoralizing than to have to go back to that same pharmacist and get some more cream because you've contracted another STD. And you're under 21. And you know your mama didn't raise you like that. And you know all the thou shalt nots because you went to Catholic school. That's why your ass crazy, but you know better. And so you're sitting in that room with that other person and there's nothing left. But there's a pill in the cabinet, there's some Allerest, there's something that I could take to come down. Anything. And I take that antihistamine or something. Because, see, that's why I say I'm a pill head, because I take anything that makes me feel different. I want to feel some stuff because I don't want to feel what I'm feeling. So I want to feel something else. So if you ever take something and you don't feel it, then you take another one because you want to feel it. Even though it's done what it's supposed to do, you still want to take another one because you want to feel something. That's scary. When do you stop trying to get that feeling? Tell God I'll call him back. So somebody, they used to have, and I wish they would bring this back, they used to have commercials that was 1-800-COCAINE was the phone number. I wish they would bring that back, man, 1-800-COCAINE. Because if you can't spell nothing else, you can spell cocaine. You could have a third grade education, be like, C-O-C, you know how to spell cocaine. And everybody got a cell phone nowadays. They need to put that back in. Like they got that one button for 911, they do that one button for cocaine, anonymous. And I used to call them. It was amazing. See, I never learned how to cook it up or anything, so I snorted my way into the room. But if you had it, I'd smoke it with you. But that blessing, I never learned the science behind it. But I used to sit up and I used to do lines, and I used to call Cocaine Anonymous hotline, and I used to talk to him and talk about, I got a friend who got a problem. What y'all be doing in the meetings? And little or not, they know they didn't believe me, but I just used to call them all the time and talk to them. My tweak was real weird, and so one day I talked on the phone, and I had taken some of those medicinal things in the cabinet, and my heart, something didn't adjust right. My heart was racing. You get that arrhythmia where your heart's skipping beats, and you feel like you're about to go crazy because you're skipping beats, and it's like, oh, shit, I'm sweating. I'm like, oh, my God, I'm about to die. And I called my mother, and I said, Mom, I need to go to the hospital. And she said, what's wrong? And I said, I don't feel right. I've been doing drugs all night. And even though, you ever try to go to a family function and fool everybody that you're getting loaded and everybody know your ass getting loaded? Why you come to the barbecue and don't eat? And why you go to the barbecue and everybody carrying their purses and shit? And why you go to the barbecue talking about I had a constant cold. I had the flu all the time. I'm sick. So everybody knew it, but it was like that thing, nobody said anything. So when I told my mother I'd been doing drugs all night, she wasn't surprised. She just jumped in the car, and she came and picked me up and took me to Broadman Memorial Hospital in Culver City. And a guy in a white coat came down there with a clipboard. And he said, Miss Odom, because that was my name at the time, he said, Miss Odom, what's going on with you? Why have you been doing drugs? I didn't even tell him. I'm like, how you know? He said, would you like some treatment? And I said, yes. So they kept me there. They fed me some Tang. And I'm thinking they're going to shoot me with something so I could feel something so I could come down. Oh, hell no. They let me come down naturally. Gave me some chicken broth and some damn Tang. I was mad as hell. I wanted to feel something. Give me some heroin and morphine or something. Damn. I don't like them hospitals. They don't know how to treat me right and stuff. Get on my nerves. So after about 24 hours, they let me go home with my mother. And they gave me a book and gave me directions. And let me explain something to you. People, the retreads that keep going in and out of these programs, like my mama Betty T said, I don't know how many more reprieves you have. But contingent upon the weather, it's contingent upon the capacity of the programs. So the weather's kind of good right now. We out there doing what we do. Let that ice hit that ass, though. All of a sudden you get sobered up, sort of. And you want to come back in. And that's okay. But I was so sweetly reasonable when I came in November 2nd, 1988, that I didn't want to go back out no more. And I didn't to this day. However, I relapsed in other areas. Y'all men, that's a whole nother fellowship. Damn, these relationships, Lord Jesus, hit me. What I started doing is I started circling meetings, and I was like, if you know L.A., because I'm from L.A., so if you know L.A., we kind of like, I was like mid-Wilshire area, and I started going to meetings like in Culver City and Beverly Hills on that side of town, and I'd go to meetings, and the ladies be sitting there. One girl's just like all freaked out and crying. I thought somebody had died. She's like, I just want to share that my parents cut off my trust fund. So when you knew and you sober, and you just like still detoxing. So you sit up there like, bitch, get a job. I took everybody's inventory. It was ridiculous. Like, she toe up, she retarded, she need meds. He gay, he don't know what he want to do with himself. She still high. He drunk. Look, and I got 2 days. I'm sitting up there. Sparked. Good cup of coffee, I'm tweaking again. Woo! So I'm sitting in this meeting in Beverly Hills, and another girl says, my boyfriend's going to be really pissed at me because I wrecked his Ferrari. I swear to God, that was in the meeting. I'm sitting there like, I don't get this. This is not it. I couldn't get it. And what it was is that I didn't know the part about, identify with the feelings. Not with the issues. And if you cannot identify with what I'm saying, identify with the feelings. Even if it's the race things that I'm talking about, identify when you walked into a room somewhere and you didn't feel enough. You felt out of sorts. You felt like everybody's talking about you. You felt like everybody's looking at you strange. You know what I'm saying? Identify with that part. When have you felt like, some of you have come in here tonight and felt out of sorts. Felt like they're looking at me. She just rolled her eyes at me. He's sizing me up. And I didn't do that. So I looked back in my directory and I got into some meetings. I started going to South Central because I figured this is my thing. And remember, I got 2-3 days, right? If white people getting sober, there's some black people somewhere getting sober too. Because the meetings I was going to was predominantly white, and there weren't very many black people. And I was like, okay, I got this. Because, I got this black-white issue. Remember, you guys, I was confused. Right on. I was confused. So I started going to meetings in South Central, in downtown LA, in the worst parts. Those were the best meetings. 3801 Southwestern was the best meeting. Oh my God. They were talking about God. They had those big brick phones. Remember, this is the late 80s, so they still got the big giant brick phones. And everybody's sober, and their teeth the few they had were brushed and stuff. You know what I'm saying? The couple of strands of hair was combed. And they were so glad to meet me and see me. And my mom was my road dog. She was like, come on, let's go to a meeting. And my mother's a normie, so she's hooked on a meeting now. Let's go to this one over here at 7 o'clock. There's another meeting. So she started going with me. So we're sitting in our first meeting, and I was just enamored. I was captured by the level of honesty. They were sharing some stuff, and I seen a man go up to the podium and cry about how sad and lonely he felt and how he wanted to kill himself because he hadn't tapped into God yet. He hadn't done the steps yet, and how everybody embraced him when he came off that podium. I love that. And I looked up on that wall, and they had those 12 steps and those 12 traditions, and I saw that there was God in certain places and certain things, and I was reading, I was like, wow. See, when I came in, I was agnostic when it came to my relationship with God, but I knew something ran this, and it wasn't me. I knew that there was a power greater than me But I knew that there was something wrong because I wasn't talking to him, and I couldn't hear him or her. So I kept going to those meetings, and I did what they told me to do. And they told me to sit in the front, and I always sat in the front. And they told me to talk to other people after meetings. And I got phone numbers because I wanted to see if y'all were going to lie to me. And guess what? When I called you guys answered the phone for me. And you would come and pick me up when my car wasn't working, and you would take me to the meeting, and you would take me out to coffee, and you would help me with my day-to-day issues. Hadn't written nothing yet, but you were giving me love unconditionally. You saw that, yeah, I might look cute on the outside, but I'm real, real sick, and the men were so nice and protective of me, a couple of them anyway. So I was sitting in this meeting, and I had almost a year, and there was this guy, and he was real tall, and he was real black, and he had on this sweatsuit, and he looked at me, and I looked at him. And he had 60 days, and I had 30 days, and I thought, ooh-wee. No, it was 60 days, 30 days, it wasn't a year. Yeah, see, I'm delusional. And we got married. Cut to the chase, we got married. We got married after I was close to a year. And he ended up going to the Army and went to Germany. And I stayed in meetings. I was doing 2 and 3 meetings a day. And you know, when you're new, I get dressed up. I don't know about y'all. I get dressed up for a meeting. I get suited up like I'm getting ready to go to Disco 9000 Boo for a meeting. And don't let it be a dance after the meeting. Oh, Lord, it's over. But you fed me, and you carried me, and you cared for me. And then I flew to Germany, and I lived in Europe. And you guys said, if you have your foundation solid, you can go anywhere. The big book says, I will recoil from alcohol like a hot flame. And I did, because that obsession was removed, so I could go anywhere. I went to meetings in Frankfurt, Germany. I went to meetings in Hamburg. I went to Kaiserslautern. I went to Heidelberg. I went to all those. All you military men talk, yeah, I know who got benefits. Who got VA benefits? Anybody got benefits? Uh-huh. Hey. Because you guys told me God is everywhere. And if I take this program with me, you know, and I did my first little inventory, you know, it was really, really cute. And I sat for like 16 hours with the girl that was sponsoring me then, and I did it. And she laughed through my entire inventory. She laughed her ass off. Because I was so afraid to share this stuff with her because I was embarrassed. And she said, girl, I did that too. And we spent most of the time sharing back and forth the similarities. So I wasn't ashamed anymore. She made me feel comfortable. That next day when I completed that inventory, I was on a plane nonstop to Germany. And the big book talks about it, and it says that contingent upon my spiritual maintenance. Contingent upon my spiritual maintenance. So that means I have to keep, my sobriety is based on that, so I have to keep in tune with God. So what I did was, okay, I started going to meetings, and I started going into other fellowships and getting deeper into the God of my understanding. And that kept me. And I learned some things, and I stayed over there 2.5 years, but I had to come back because there was something you guys told me. You said, don't get in a relationship in the first year. I said, it's not in the big book. Bill W. and Dr. Bob both had wives. Kiss my ass, I'm getting a husband. I was straight big book thumping. If it ain't in the big book, I'm doing it anyhow. But the only thing was, what had happened was, I forgot to ask them why y'all say that. Please, newcomers, if somebody tell you something, ask them why. Or show you in the book why. And what it was is he didn't know himself. He was full of anger. He wasn't working the steps. And it's nothing worse than to be in the program in the fellowship and you're working the steps and you're progressing and you're sponsoring people and you're doing stuff and your significant other ain't. Ouch. Duck. Because I might have hit a few people. Not trying to do that, but that's my story. You know, it's nothing worse than you being progressive. You're doing everything you're supposed to, and that person is becoming jealous and envious of you because you're growing, because you're learning about God, and they see the light, and they see the light that's drawing people to you, and that person's sitting up there pissed off and just not going to meetings or going to meetings and not doing anything in their spiritual life. But I can only work 12 steps, but it's hard when you're in relationship with one of us not to take their inventory. It's virtually impossible because it's like, ooh, you on one downward spiral, you know. And that was the situation with him. And he started putting his hands on me, and he started beating me, and we had a child, and I couldn't take it. So when he went to field for maneuvers for 30 days, when he came back, there was a Cheerio and a fork in the floor because my ass was gone. They came and packed my stuff, and I was out on my way back to L.A. Now I'm homeless because, you know, if you live with your mama, you homeless, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, let's get that truth in order. Don't be delusional. With a baby, with 4 years sober, and pissed off at God. I was so mad. Anybody around here been sober and mad at God? You can admit that. It's okay. Mad at God because I'm doing everything you told me to, and this is what I get? So I go to a meeting one day with another one that I met, and I married that one too. Shut up. At least they be asking me and stuff. I get asked at it and stuff. And he was that little short guy that she was talking about that came up to her, and he came over and said, Leslie, I saw a lady that I swear she reminds me of older version of you. Oh my God. So I go to a meeting and she's talking and she's got all this glittery stuff on and I got all my glittery and we just glitter toward each other. We probably shocked the hell out of each other, you know. Hi, how you doing? How you doing? And I loved her style. She was like kind of flowing and stuff. She had our long hair and I had my long hair. We both had both our long hair. We had bought it and stuff. We was all long-haired it and stuff. And that woman nursed me back to life and took me deeper. The depth that I have gone is so, I see things that you would not believe in the spirit. I have so many gifts. So, you know, when you walk away from your inventory, now I'm getting into the recovery part. You walk away from your inventory, you're supposed to come away with your assets and your liabilities. Not just, oh, this ain't a beat you up thing. It's about clearing away this junk to get to the good in you, which is the God in you, so that you can be of maximum service to somebody else outside of your selfish ass, Leslie. Thank you. And what has happened is there's this spiritual transformation for me that is so profound and so I can't even begin. They say you get rocketed into the fourth dimension, baby. Let me tell you something. When the spirit get to you and God get to you, there's a dimension that's beyond 4, baby. They put a number on them dimensions, but I'm about 7th. And I say that because I get people and I look at you and I can read you and you'll just look at me. I've had people just break down and say, how do you know that? Because I am you. Because I have seen where you're at. I can see the pain in your eyes. I can look at you and tell whether you're full of spirit or you're full of shit. No, this ain't no Miss Cleo. I'm not trying to be metaphysical. I'm not trying to be super. But that's what the promises says. You will intuitively. Do you know what intuition is? And I have sat up here and I have watched people slowly kill themselves because they can't get in touch with the power greater than themselves. I took that lady way out on the beach because, see, she takes you deeper. We did a workshop here and it was a good handful of us there, but it was just who was supposed to be there. It was called Get to Stepping. And what she did is she took me not only through the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous with the 12 steps. We didn't just do that inventory. Did you know there's a whole bunch of other questions in that other book that go with that big book? Did y'all know that? Y'all didn't know nothing about that, huh? Sorry. And I'm not here to be controversial and I'm not here to take your inventory. You don't want to do it, it's okay with you. But when they ask a question, there's supposed to be an answer. And I looked at her and she gave me that sheet with all that. I was like, shit, I ain't doing all that shit. I'm fine. Yeah, fine is fucked up, insecure, neurotic, and emotional. Yeah, you fine, all right. And I took her out to the beach and I told her that the person that, they take dictation. You know, when you read your fifth step, they tell you, here's who you need to make amends to, and here's your defects. She said, I'm not doing that shit for you. This is your inventory. You need to be clear and armed with facts about who you are. I'm not here to tell you who you are and who you're not. I'm here to help you get to a power greater than you. See, I found out that the program of Alcoholics Anonymous and Cocaine Anonymous is not designed to get me the car, get me the right husband, get the kids to act right, come back up, you know, look cute, get the house. The program is not designed to get me friends. If I come away from these rooms with one or two, I'm blessed. This is not a social club, which I used it for that too. The program of Alcoholics Anonymous and Cocaine Anonymous is not designed to give me the desires of my heart. It is designed to get me in touch with a power that I lost a long time ago. And that is with God. It ain't about you, and it ain't about you. Now, mind you, I am not one to say I don't care what you think of me, because I truly care what you think of me. But you know the real deal? I can't do nothing about what you think of me. That's the powerlessness of it. So what I have to do is, if I care so much about what you think of me, then I have to do something to make myself in the image of that power. That means I have to walk under the umbrella of that power. That means I have to be what you tell me that I should be, because I don't know how to be anything else but a fake, a phony, a fraud, a hooker. Any hoes in the house? Ho, hey, ho. One lady said, I'm not going to point her out, but she did like this. I love it because she said, yeah, I'm a hoe, but I ain't telling everybody. I mean, I might need to make some money this weekend. Shit, they fuck 'em up. That was cute. That was cute, boo. I saw you, That's my twin cousin. She just got blonde hair. We got different daddies, but it's all right. Yeah. So when I went and I took her there and she took me back, she said, you take this back and you do this correctly. And I went back and it took me forever and a day to get this done. Anybody get stuck on their inventories? You ever, okay, what about this one? What about this one? I lost it. How many people lost their inventories? Come on, tell the truth. Had stuck. Oh, now y'all really lie. You started writing and you can't find a notepad. Okay, I got another one. How many of y'all wrote an inventory and your significant other found it and read it? Or he's sitting with you. Okay, don't put your hand down. Put your hand down. Or she's sitting with you. Put your hand down. All these are spiritual blocks, baby. Because if you're sick and tired of yourself, you're so sick and tired of your anger, you're just mad at everybody. You're so tired of going in and out of these rooms. You're so tired of can't stay stopped off of nothing. We will reasonable when the judge saying. We will sweetly reasonable when the doctor's saying. But what about, and when you in those meetings and that speaker got you inspired and you hyped up, but after about a day or so, you ain't so hyped up to do all this no more. It takes what it takes to get you to do what you got to do. But let me tell you about me. I was so scared of going back out there getting loaded that I stayed reasonable. And I went back. It took a long time. And I avoided her like the plague. Because you know when you see your sponsor and you ain't did what she told you to do, you be ducking and stuff in the meeting. How you going to hide from your sponsor? You ain't doing nothing but killing your damn self. She done did her inventory, so what? Why you hiding? Or use your sponsor like a 911 operator. Call her talking about, you know, in tragedy and in the midst of drama, and now you're going to call her. You ain't called her. Now you got to catch her up for 6 months' worth of madness. And then you want her to come up with a remedy all in a sudden. How dare I use God's child like that? So I did that work, and I came back. Let me tell you what my spiritual awakening was when I did that fifth step. And I'm going to go through the steps really, really for you guys the way I see it. The fifth step tells me that I admitted to God, another human being, the exact, to myself, God, another human being, the exact natures of my wrongs. I'm a word girl. So if you got your book, pull out your dictionary. But I think exact doesn't mean guesstimate. Or sort of, kind of. exact. Now, it's not that God doesn't know exactly what your wrongs were, because he's been watching the show all the time. And it doesn't matter if the person you're telling it to knows the exact natures. If you're being honest with them, that's not their deal. But God wants to see if, Leslie, you know the right from the wrong. Because the big book says every man, woman, and child has a fundamental idea of a God. There's a God basis in here. There's a foundational God thing somewhere in my gut that's covered with a bunch of garbage. And when I share in that triune, and I get all that stuff off, and I tell everybody what it is, the God and the another human being, and I tell them what it is, there's a level of freedom. If you have not done a fifth step, you missing out on a level of freedom, baby. You will never want to hurt yourself like that again if you do a thorough inventory. And you looking that other human being in the eye. Because see, what scares me, and they talk about this in the fifth step in the 12 and 12, they said that almost every highly developed spiritual individual has another individual that they share their stuff with. And I'm paraphrasing. Gandhi, Mother Teresa, they had an advisor. What makes me think that I can just pray to God directly and get an answer? That I can pray to God directly and get direction right then. See, I suffer from delusions and illusions, and I cannot differentiate the truth from the false when I am stone cold sober. What the hell make me think I can call on God and he going to tell me exactly what to do? And then I go to my sponsor and say, God sent him to me. That was for you. That was for you. That was for you. But that's what we come up with. And it says that we don't say, they say that we leave that because we justify it because our minds are so twisted. Our disease is so twisted and has us so deluded that we can't tell if it's that voice in our head, the people under the stairs, or if you dual diagnose, it might be you missed your meds. I don't know what the hell. How do I know when it's God talking to me or when it's self? That's dangerous. So I always run stuff past another person. And we're not talking about surveying. Stop surveying the fucking crowd, man. I had to stop doing that because it would just confuse me. And then it would cause blame because I'm going to take your advice and I'm going to do it and it's going to be screwed up and I'm going to be mad at you. Now I got to do another inventory because I'm pissed at you, and it just goes on and on and on. So when you do that fifth step, that's a spiritual walk with God, not just with you and your sponsor. That's with God. You brought God in there. Just like when you lay down with somebody that ain't your husband, you brought a third person in there. That's God. Hello, walls. Y'all hear me? That's a spiritual connection, seriously. When it's two of y'all, it's really three. It's the spirit. So when I give that to my sponsor and I give that to God and they tell me to take down that book and look at all the stuff before that and make sure I didn't leave anything undone. Well, I've left things undone. Guess what? Because I've done 10 steps over and over again. One day I asked my sponsor, when am I going to be able to stop writing? She said, 3 days after you dead. I said, why 3 days after I'm dead? She said, because we want to make sure you still ain't lying. So this is a lifetime medication. And after I got free, and I started doing these inventories, and I started looking in at 12 and 12, and I did those 11 additional sex inventory questions that's not in the big book. Hello, y'all. Then I did that financial inventory that's in the 12 and 12 in the fourth step that a lot of people don't look at. If you wonder why your money ain't right and you've been sober double digits, you might want to take a look at it. It's very eye-opening to see how jacked up you are and how you use money as power. And for those of us who have come from cocaine addiction and then we turn around and we do gambling addiction, or they do like me and you have shopping addictions and you turn around and you fix on things because something still, there's a hole in your spirit that's still not filled with God yet. So you're going to have to go back and look at that, Leslie. See, these books have all the stuff in it for you. It's all the medicine in the medicine cabinet that you're going to need. It's just where you take it as needed, or as you take it when you feel like it. I'm going to give you a little bit of my personal life, and I don't know how much time am I looking at. Anybody? I'm still okay? Okay, I try to be obedient. Because I know how it is. A lot of people get kind of tired. I married the first man. I told you about him. Don't tell nobody. And then I married the second one. Don't tell anybody about that one either. And I had another baby by then, so I got kids 10 years apart. I stayed sober. I didn't stab nobody, but I've gone through a lot. Let me tell you about relationships. Outside of myself, in and of myself, outside of the spirit of the umbrella of God, let me tell you what I be doing. Let me tell you some of my defects that I hadn't told her about that time. I'm going to tell y'all, okay? Don't tell her. I will do a drive-by on your ass. Not the shooting kind, but if you don't answer your phone and we done kissed, we go together. Oh, you my boyfriend. You ain't answering your phone, and this is back in the day when you used to blow up men's pagers. Remember that? You just blow it up, just page back to back, and he looking at it like this. So I get in the car and leave my kid in the bed. I get in the car and I come past your house because you ain't answering your phone, so I'm feeling it. You know how you women be feeling that gut feeling something ain't right? You know something ain't right. He even giving you signs all this time. All of a sudden you acting brand new like, oh, why he doing this to me? You get in the car, you do the drive-bys, and then he pull up with the other girl. Oh, okay. And you sober and you can't get high because you got a little bit of time and stuff. So you just go home and you get in a fetal position. And you cry, and you smoke Newports, and you cry, you smoke Newports, and you cry, and you smoke Newports, because you can't take a hit, because the ego's good for something. Fuck, I'm not staying up getting another newcomer chip. I can't, I'll just be in pain. And then, you know, you stay on the phone with your sponsor till you go to sleep. You're And then there's those of us who eat because we're so depressed, we just start eating. Well, I do the reverse. I don't eat. So I start looking like We Are the World. There's flies and shit landing on me. I start looking like Zimbabwe and shit. Sally Struthers come out of my bathroom. Heft this child. She's all like this. I shrink. Y'all can tell when I'm toe up. Emotionally, I'm not eating nothing. So that's one of my defects. So I do drive-bys. Don't let me get the code to your cell phone answering machine, please. Please don't do that to me. If I break into your code, I'm finna blow it. I'm getting ready to listen to every message since before Jesus was born. And of course, he had a whole bunch of hers on there, right? So I'm listening to all these messages. Let me tell you how the disease is when you're sober. This is with double digits, y'all. This is some of my disease experience sober. And I kept calling, and I kept hearing a different woman. I kept hearing these messages, but I can't tell him I busted into his answer machine code thing because, you know, I'm all in his business because I check pockets, too. In and of myself, by myself, I check pockets. I am on a daily reprieve from pocket checking. It's been a couple years, so I'm doing good. But don't get it mistaken. I can relapse and start checking your shit even if you ain't my man. I'll come check your pockets. And let me tell you, I'm sharing this with you because of the sickness. See, that's that delusion. We think we okay. When we start acting out, that's that on that way to relapse. That's that relapse. That's a relapse issue, man. They say feelings aren't fact, but when you're in the middle of some pain, that shit is factual to you right when you in it. So don't play with that. So I called my sponsor. I said, Betty, it's all these women, and I don't know what to do, and I keep calling. And she said, well, baby, keep calling. I said, keep calling. She said, keep calling. In fact, check it 2-3 times a day. And I'm thinking to myself, why would she tell me that? I am in pain here. I'm thinking she's going to tell me what book, what page to go to, what to write about, how to stop myself from doing this. See, because in and of myself, by myself, I cannot stay stopped doing anything without God. Stopping's no big deal. Can I stay stopped? She said, keep calling. And I said, why? She said, because I want you to get done. I want you to get done. Then we can start recovering. But until you're tired of yourself, you're going to keep doing this. And ain't nothing she could say to make me stop. And she was right. I had to keep doing it till I got tired of hurting my damn self. Meetings wasn't getting it. Calling her, crying to her wasn't getting it. Doing that selfish, please help me, God, prayer wasn't getting it. I couldn't take a hit, drink, fix a pill, that wouldn't get it. I couldn't get him to love me right. And what was wrong with me? That didn't get it. I couldn't fix myself up cute enough so that he wouldn't want to talk to all the hers because I'm thinking it's me. That didn't get it. Only thing that can save me from an obsession of the mind is God. I don't care what that obsession is. No matter what, whether it's eating, food, gambling, debt, I don't care what it is. It's a spiritual sickness. That's what this is all about. It's about a sickness of the spirit, and only God can fix that. I am beyond human aid even right now. With 20 years sober, I am beyond human aid right now. There is nothing that can keep me sober but a God and a willingness. And just willingness alone ain't enough because I've been willing every time I broke that pipe. Every time I threw away those utensils. I swore I was willing. But God sat down and he looked at me and said, but you ain't through, my child. And he did what Betty T did. I love you, but I cannot part the Red Sea for you. You gonna have to stay stopped. But you got to depend on me. And I was mad at God because I said, God, you could just snap your finger and make everything right. He might be able to, but he needs your help. You need to cooperate with God. Step 1. I am powerless over drugs and alcohol, and my life is unmanageable. My thinking is unmanageable. I cannot stop myself from thinking the thoughts. Only God's help can make me stay stopped from thinking the thoughts. The thoughts gonna come, but I don't have to act on them. Number 2, came to believe that a power greater than me, and not a human power, and not nothing, what you say, Betty, below a belt buckle can save me from insanity. Hi. Let me reverse this. About 5 years ago, I met this cute guy because I was like married because, see, I'm an adulteress also. So with that second marriage, or the man that I did the drive-bys on, let me tell you what had happened was I stayed with him, but, now I want to get him back. So I stayed with him, but he wasn't treating me right. So there was another him that was cute, and he said the right things, and he did the right stuff and everything and stuff. And I started having an affair. So everybody was sitting in the meetings. Now, all of us in the fellowship, in the same fellowship, okay? So there's 3 doors. So my husband come in this door, him come in this door, I come in that door. So if you sitting in the room, it's like a ping pong match. They watching. So if you acting out on your character defects in this room and you don't think nobody know, they know. And if you don't think that your shit that's been discussed from the podium ain't been discussed, trust and believe it's being discussed. Get over it. Unfortunately, we do that because we're defective. And if you say you don't walk out of a meeting and tell what was shared in the meeting, let me stick it to me. I tell sometimes I am not that great. I'm so sorry. And I did that. And all my sponsees were looking at me like, wow, Les, I can't believe you did it. And I felt so bad, but I couldn't stop. This is with 12, 13, 14 years sober. This is with 13, 14, 20 sponsees. This is running big book studies. This is showing up, going to meetings. This is being trusted servant. This is doing all this stuff, all this profound shit from the podium. This is going speaking from here and speaking there and flying on planes and calling people and helping people say they live and talking to parents of people I'm sponsoring. All this, and I'm acting out on that defect. Now, in the big book, Alcoholics Anonymous, what they say about the sex is on page 69. If your conduct continues to hurt others, you will drink again. It's only by the grace of God he saved me. But I got with this guy. See, you could do anything you want to. This my sponsor be saying. You could do anything you want to in this program as long as you don't drink or kill nobody or nothing. And as long as you're willing to pay the spiritual price. So now I take that and I say, okay, but then what's the price? But you don't know what the price is. And even worse, you don't know when it's going to come and how it's going to come. Because you set that ball rolling. And it snowballs. And you keep doing it, and then you running down here, and here's this ball coming behind your ass. And you like, oh, shit. You see my fake in the wheelchair running. I'm running in the wheelchair. That was some cool shit, wasn't it? I just started running. Stupid. I'm like... So, you know what I'm saying? And it just starts coming and starts coming and starts coming and starts coming, and it's running after you. It's coming, and I'm like, oh my God, you know. So I got this young guy, and he convinced me to come to Atlanta, Georgia, because it's supposed to be good. And I got 2 kids. I got a 10-year-old, and I got by then it was 12 and a 2-year-old, and I'm divorced from both these men. And I got with this young guy, and we fly, and I sold my mother's house, and I sold my house. So you know I got banked because I'm from L.A. When you sell a house in L.A., you just Donald Trump and shit. It's just ridiculous. Baby, fast forward 4 years later, he's stuck in the strip clubs. If y'all come to Atlanta, don't go to Magic City, please. You lose your damn mind. Don't lose your damn mind. He got stuck in the strip club, wasn't working no program. And I'm sitting in this big old house that I put this $30,000 deposit down on in cash, and all my name is on is the deed. He ain't paying no parts of the bills anymore. He's totally relapsed as far as I'm concerned, mentally and spiritually. So it was like, save yourself. And by the grace of God, this fellowship is everywhere. And I was hitting meetings like I was a newcomer. Baby, you know what's good, though? When you in pain, when you hit some meetings, your ass be sad the meeting over. And this boy, when you really in pain and you hit some meetings, you hit one meeting, that meeting over, you go to another one and another one till there's no more meetings that day. Because I don't know what it is about being in pain, being in a meeting, it helps. I'd rather be tore up, crying, show my ass to y'all in the rooms than to go home, be by myself, isolated and totally loaded. Because I don't fear you guys anymore. I used to be so afraid. Somebody was saying to me today, he said, you okay? You're not? And I'd be nervous speaking in front of these people. Oh, y'all my cousins, honey, please. I'm not scared of not nan one of you. I am so not full of fear. When you see me up here and I got my head down, I'm praying for God to give me the right words to say to touch somebody, one person. It ain't about me today. I had to leave that man. And I was in a little bitty apartment for 9 months with my 2 boys on my back. By the grace of God, I had a job. I had spent all those hundreds of thousands of dollars with that man. This was 5 years ago, y'all. And I cried and I rocked, and I'm 3,000 miles from my people, man. My people in L.A., I'm in Atlanta, I'm here with this man. And he left me. And all I got is a big book. And all I got is a God. And all I got is tapes and memories of what y'all told me. And all I got is my past experience, strength, and hope. I didn't got nothing else. I didn't have nothing but the program, and I had nothing but God. And y'all told me just go to meetings, and I had to go to meetings. And I had to call and stay on the phone. And I had to look at spiritual channels because I didn't know what else to do. And I had to ask you guys to help me. I had 15 years. I'm supposed to know some shit. I'm just supposed to be in love a little bit. I just want somebody to love me. I didn't know that was going to come with the program, the spiritual price, huh? I wasn't saying that when I was legs up in the motel, huh? Woo-hoo! Well, my friend Ellen from Kansas said something, and I've been using it, Ellen. Ellen said, they used to call me helium heels. So I said, I guess that's why I got casts on my ankles to keep my feet down. Ain't gonna be whoop. No, that ain't gonna happen this weekend. Oh, thank you, Ellen. I said your name, boo-boo. I said your name. You get a foundation in this program, your world can be rocked. Them emotional gut punches that take the wind out of you. Death. A friend ODing. A friend dying of a brain hemorrhage. A friend dying of cancer. That man leaving, that woman leaving. Death of a child. Somebody just drop dead in front of you. Somebody go to jail. Take them cut punches, but you can still wave through it. Because you got somebody in here you can roll with, man. Why you doing this shit by yourself? Why you got to be by yourself? Why you can't tell nobody what you done did? I told you that, look, I'm a recovering hoe. What? Recovering. Don't get it twisted. Put me on the prayer list. Put me on the prayer list. What's the big deal with sitting down and writing your stuff and getting free? Why won't you get free? Relieve me of the bondage of self so that I can better be of service to another human being. It ain't about me today. I don't care today. If I stop living today, guess what? I had a ball. I have danced that dance. I have danced that dance with God. I have done everything that I think I wanted to do. I went to South Africa with my buddy over here. Blah, blah. Addicts traveling across countries and seas and oceans and waters and stuff. I've gone on cruises. I've seen things that you would not. I see things. I see spirit in everything. You know what? What's so deep? Let me tell you a secret. This is how I think. I'm crazy. Okay, what? I was looking at a MetLife commercial, and the word life came up on the screen. And the L and the E dropped. In the middle was if. And the message was, in life, there are a lot of ifs. That's what I see. And the thing about that is, when I start contemplating moves and things to do and what not to do, and I start doing too many ifs, now I'm playing God. Well, if this happens, then I'll do this, this, and this. But if I do this, this, and this will happen. I'm playing God because I'm setting up the stage. I'm doing too much. I'm doing too much. I'm doing too much. I'm not running it past her. I'm not running it past one of my sobriety sisters. I'm in control again. You can work these steps backwards into a relapse. See, because the 12 steps says I'm supposed to give it to another person, so I'm not talking to none of y'all. I'm not giving y'all nothing. I'm not sharing with any of you. And the 11th step is to continue to take personal inventory. Is that what it is? 10? I'm retarded. Okay, what's 11? Oh, the meditation. Talk through prayer and meditation. So I'm not praying and I'm not meditating. And 10, I'm not taking inventory because I'm okay. And 9, I don't need to make amends to nobody. They need to make amends to me. People owe me some amends. And 8, I definitely ain't got no list because, shit, I'm cool. And 6 and 7, I ain't got no shortcomings or defects of character, so I'm straight. And the ones that I do have, God will take them away in a minute. Or I want to hold on to them because I'm not done with them yet. So I want to keep doing that defective shit. 5, I ain't talking to God, another person, or myself even. I'm not telling nobody nothing else. I'm cool. 4, I definitely ain't writing. I don't feel like writing right now because I'm okay. I prayed. I got on my knees. God took it. I'm straight. I went to a meeting today. I was of service. I did that 2-stepping. Step 1, step 12, I'm cool. 3, make a decision, turn my will and life over to the care of God. He already got me, so I'm straight. We already talked about that a couple years ago, and I turned it over, so I'm in meetings. I'm sober. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I say the serenity prayer at the end of every meeting, so I'm praying. 2, came to believe that insanity, I'm not insane anymore because I've gotten better. I don't do the things that I used to do. See, ordinarily, I would have went up to you and punched you in your face, or I went up to you and I'd have cussed you out. I didn't do that, so I'm not insane anymore. 1, my life's manageable because I got a job, I got a car, I got a couple jewels, I got a wife, I got a husband, the kids are acting okay, you know what I'm saying? So my life is manageable. I'm pretty okay. I'm pretty straight. And I'm not powerless because you guys told me I come into the room powerless, and I got power because I'm in touch with a God, so I'm not powerless. And then there's a step before step 1 to concede to my innermost self that I'm an alcoholic. I haven't been going to any meetings, and I think I'm okay, and I haven't taken a drink, and I'm hanging out with my friends. They drink, I don't. Next thing you know, you're standing up with a white chip, and everybody's clapping for your ass. work the steps backwards or work them forward, but work them. I'm going to share this with you in closing. The biggest message that I have for you, get with somebody and share everything with that somebody, no matter how bad you think it's going to make you feel. Get out of your fucking self, you selfish ass, Leslie. Give it away. We talked about currency, and the word currency is current. It is to give, ebb and flow. Ebb and flow. I can't keep it unless I give it away. I can't keep money unless I give it away. I can't keep love unless I give it away. I can't keep strength unless I give it away. I can't keep my things unless I give them away. This car don't matter. You can drive that shit off the ocean. I don't care. Give it away. If you're not giving something away and you're not getting nothing, you blaming all us because you ain't getting no love, look at what you're doing. What are you giving? If you're paranoid and think everybody don't like you, but you ain't walking up to nobody, hugging them and sharing, hi, my name is, then look at what you're doing. I have to look at me. I have to take that mirror with all those men I picked and look at myself and say, you picked them, you transmit what you got, you get who you are. If you want better, then learn how to be better. If I want a man that's supposed to be a man of God, then I've got to be that woman. I got to be what I want. You are what you eat in these rooms. If you want to be happy, joyous, and free, well, God damn it, you better make yourself work for that happy, joyous, and freedom. That feeling that we have. Because ain't nothing none of y'all can do to take it from me. I can give it away. And I refuse to give that away today. I thank you so much for your patience, and Mike and all the committee members. Y'all the bomb. I love you. Yes.